Ladies and gentlemen, this 24-hour non-stop conclave is slowly and steadily coming to its final destination. We are at session 48, yet another interesting topic, effective GD. And the facilitator, Mr. Ramasubramanian. Over to you, sir.
So, very good morning. Right. So, it gives me immense pleasure to stand before once again to talk about a very interesting topic, group discussion. While the basic aptitude test is considered to be a filtering process, where there are huge amount of students available, huge amount of employees available from which you can filter to a basic requirement, that is the purpose of an aptitude test. It's simply a filtering process. While an interview is a much more one-to-one deeper probing aspect, the group discussion gives a very powerful platform for emerging of powerful human dynamics. On the one hand, you have a simply left-brained aptitudinal process. On the other hand, on the other side, you have one-to-one powerful interactions. And somewhere in the middle is the bridge that connects both, and that is the group discussion process. It's a very powerful process in which many powerful human qualities could emerge. So what is a GD? GD is a very simple process in a way, in that 6 or 8 people, students preferably, they sit together and discuss about a topic which is given to them. The topic would normally be debatable in nature, like the role of female professionals in corporate sector. Should students enter politics? Is India really developing? So those are certain topics in which you can take any side you want. And then the process starts. So let's bring your attention to certain basic essential elements, if you are able to focus on which, will be making you very effective in the group discussion process. So what is the first thing they look for? A panel of judges sitting across, you will be giving individual numbers, and what will those panelists will be looking for? The first thing is, the first quality which they will be looking for is your ability to form opinions. About the given topic, are you really capable of thinking, and are you really able to form your own opinion about the topic that is under discussion? Or should you simply choose to say, whatever Ramu says, I accept. Whatever Somu says, I don't accept, and keep mum. So the first test is whether you are able to form your own opinion. Are you able to become aware of your own perception? That is it. So when the topic comes, is India really developing, you can have your own views, but the condition is your view your own? From your life position, from your life experiences, from your experiences in the society, are you able to form your conclusions about the topic? And the second thing is, how positively you are able to present your opinions. What is meant by positiveness? Positiveness is acknowledging and accepting the negative attitudes or the negative attributes that could be available, but still having a sliver of at least optimism, a sliver of optimism. Yes, India has some challenges here and there. We need to accept them. But we need to move beyond, and we need to understand what are the strengths of India. She has a very huge human resource, out of which more than almost 40–50% are youngsters. So with that in mind, with that potential in mind, if you are able to present yourself as, even amidst the challenges, still India has a very powerful strength. So you come across as a positive person. The first thing is, are you able to really form your own opinions? The second thing is, are you able to be positive about that? Another way to judge your positiveness is to look for whether you curse, complain, or corrupt. As you talk, are you completely, constantly, consistently complaining about so many things occurring around you? So that would put you as a not so positive person. So accepting the challenges, but still looking for that sliver of hope would make you come across as a very, very positive person. Then, you have your own perception, you are positive about that. Then comes what? Then comes, are you able to have, or do you have the ability to present solutions for that? That is the most important thing. Are you able to really present solutions, or are you simply a critic? Yes, India has so many strengths. She has some weaknesses, but she has strengths. What are we going to do about it? How are we going to use that strength? Are you able to come out with some problems or some solutions for those problems? That is what the panelists will be really looking for. So how can you come with some solutions? So that much youth power, so much unbridled energy is available. So we need to have some sort of forums. We need to have some sort of setups in which that energy could be channelized and for more positive purposes. That could be one solution which you present. And going beyond the solution, the panelists will be really impressed if you are able to come up with an action plan. A solution could be at a macro level, but at a micro level, what is that you can do as an individual? We are talking about a big macro thing like a country, but still you are a very, very important part of that country. So at that unique level of your individuality, what is that you can do? So that would make you come across as a person with powerful responsibility. So many challenges, so many strengths. This should be then, what am I going to do about it as an individual? So if you are able to form an action plan, that will be very, very impressive for the panelist. So that is one important aspect. Moving next comes the important concept of how are you interacting and treating your group members. That ideas may not be obtained from an interview. So this is where the panelists will be keenly watching you. So how do you treat your co-members? How do you interact with them? The first thing that you can do is be aware of your speaking time, because there is a very peculiar disease which is called as a mic disease, right? Some people become very addicted to their mics. Once the mics are given, they go on the roll and they keep on rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling, and they forget the time. And so it happened really, right? It seems one of our speakers, right, in a forum was speaking continuously. He had an addiction with the mic, and he was talking continuously for much longer time. And then he suddenly realized that he was talking too much over time, and he apologized to the audience, it seems. They said, sorry audience, right, I forgot to look at the clock. And one audience member gave a feedback saying that at least you should have looked at the calendar, right? So that is how it is. The mic disease could make you forget about yourself. So are you really objective? Are you really able to control yourself? Are you really able to restrict yourself with the core important points? That is something very important. And are you assertive enough in the way that people, yes, they will be trying to occupy the time, maybe 20 minutes is the time, 6 or 8 people should share their points about within that time. Are you really assertive? Are you able to stand and get that portion of the pie which is your right? So are you really assertive enough? So limit yourself, at the same time fight for your time. In that way you will come across as a very assertive person. The next thing which I would like to bring to your attention is this point. Normally in group discussions, I personally feel there is an urge to talk first, right? Because it has been suggested that the first impression is the best impression. So people have an urge, right? They vie for that mic, so that if I come across with my point powerfully, I'll be more remembered. But the truth could be other ways. First impression may be the best impression, but the latest impression is the lasting impression. So you can start slowly, warm up slowly, and bring about more deeper aspects of your personality as you interact, and that would leave a lasting impression in the minds of the judges. So unless you really have a real desire to start talking, then you can wait, watch, warm up to the subject, get ideas, and then start presenting more and more about yourself. That would be one of the most powerful ways in which to do. So one more thing which I want you to understand is a very interesting mnemonic, right, for your body language. Because you know that the body language is one of the most important aspects of communication. So I would like to present a mnemonic SOFTEN, S-O-F-T-E-N. Very easy to remember, but very powerful if applied. So S here, all you need to do is, you need to exhibit soften through your body language in the group discussion process. That would make you much more impressive in nature. Want to know what soften is? Yes or no? So, yes. Yes stands for? Any guesses? Yes stands for? Smile, right? Have a smile, wear a smile, smile at your counterparts, smile at your group members, have a smiling face. That could really, really make you more presentable. O, what does O stand for? Pardon? Observe. I'm talking about specific body languages, right? Which you could really, really understand and start applying. So smile is something we are able to really understand and apply. So similarly, O stands for open body language, right? Open body language in which you don't cross your arms, right? You don't cross your arms. Don't have any barriers in front of your chest. So having a smile, having an open body language, that could be remarkable. Third one, F. What does F stand for? F stands for a forward lean, right? Imagine 6 or 8 people sitting in a semicircle, and imagine one of them doing like this, leaning back. That would come across as a very negative trait. On the other hand, suppose you are in a movie theater, and the movie happens to be a very interesting movie. When you sit in the seat, normally you will be having a forward leaning tendency. So when you forward lean, it suggests interest. So when you exhibit that trait of forward leaning, what happens is that the panelists are able to understand that you are interested in the process, what is going on. So S stands for smile, O stands for an open body language in which you don't cross your arms, don't have any barriers in front of your chest. F stands for forward lean. T. T stands for touch, right? If possible, you can just touch the shoulder of your neighbors, right? I would put it as an emotional touch rather than a physical touch. Trying to connect with your own emotions and trying to offer them. That could be a very powerful way of emotional touch. And then E. E stands for eye contact, right? Looking at the eyes of your co-members, talking to them based on the eye contact. And then N stands for nodding of the head, right? N stands for nodding of the head. So as you acknowledge, right, when you nod, that emphasizes your acceptance. Nodding is also a powerful behavioral evidence for listening. So the soften model, right, which states that smile, have an open body language, and then forward lean, emotional touch, eye contact, and nodding will make you come across as a very positive person who is really interested in the proceedings, right? So remember the formula soften, apply it, and you will be very impressive in nature. So I just want to finish off, right, with a very interesting story. This is my last session here in this program. So I want to finish off with a very interesting story. It's in there was a 70-story building. How many stories? 70-story building. And 2 brothers were living at the top of the 70th floor, right? On the 70th floor. And one day what happened? They came down the building for shopping. So they shopped to their heart's content, and with bags all around their shoulders, they went into the building. And to their shock, they found the lift was not working, right? So they thought about it for some time, and one of them, being young, right, very young brothers, not married, very specifically. So they thought that one of them gave the suggestion, why don't we walk the stairs, right? It would be a good experience for start. So the first 20 stories, right, they ran, right, with all excitement, shouting, right, all the excitement, fun. They ran up to the first 20 floors. And after 20, they really found the going tough, right? So they thought that maybe we should slow down a little. And somewhere in the 30th floor, they felt that the luggages that we carry, right, the shopping that we have done, might be a big baggage. So we'll keep it somewhere in the 30th floor. And after the lift works, we'll come back and regain them. So they kept their goods, the goods somewhere between the 20th and 40th floor, and then they reached the 40th floor. After reaching the 40th floor, they were really tired. And then they felt the going really tough, and they started criticizing each other. One said, we should have waited. It was your idea. Who started this, right? It was your idea that started this. The other guy said, what happened to your mind? You could have very well said no. We could have waited for the lift. So they started complaining each other, cursing each other, and they went up to the 60th floor. After the 60th floor, they realized it's only 10 more stories. So why fussing about all those quarrels, right? You look at this way, I will look at this way, and they climb the last of the 10 stories, and they reach the 70th floor. And then the elder brother said to the younger brother, as they were standing in front of the door, open the door. And the younger brother said, I don't have the key. You open the door. And the elder brother touched himself and said, I also don't have the key. And to their horror, they realized, where was the key? The key was among the sharpened goods that they had dropped somewhere between the 20th and 40th floor. Very powerful metaphorical story. NLP talks about metaphors, the power of metaphors, right? So what does a 70 story represent? The 70 stories represents an approximate, right? That average 70 years in the human life. 70 years in the human life. Now think about the first 20 stories. How did the brothers go for the first 20 stories? Lot of fun, lot of excitement, right? Lot of everything, right? The vigor. First 20 stories, yes. And then the reality strikes in, right? Somewhere they really feel that the going gets tough, and the 20 to 40, right, is really an exploration process. But they did something very different. What did they do between the 20 and 40? They kept their luggages, right? They kept their luggages. And after 40, what happens? People really become critical. Right? After 40, people really become very critical. And 40 to 60 could be a tough stage. And after 60, the last 70 is spent in contemplation, right? That's how it goes. But my most important question is, what does the goods that the brothers left between the 20 and 40 represent? Remember, they shopped for it, they paid for it, and it was born after their own heart's deep driving desire. So what does it represent? The dreams, right? The dreams of the youngsters. So youngsters usually carry the dreams, right? But the normal tendency is to drop them somewhere between 20 and 40. I honestly request you, right? Please don't drop your dreams. Even if the lift doesn't work, keep on carrying your dreams, right? And with the true intention, with the true determination, if you are able to have the right strategies, definitely you will be able to realize your dreams and goals. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.